Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and today I want to talk to you all about breaking down the box and cutting up the box. You know, what do I mean by those two terms, breaking down the box and cutting up the box? I mean that it's time to stop living in the expectations of other people. It's time that we actually begin to examine who we are, examine what our gifts are, and begin to live in that truth. You know, so many of us live for other people. We live to please other people and make them happy and make them feel good, but at the expense of our own wants, wishes, desires, and feelings. And this becomes problematic over time because we're so busy trying to make other people happy that we're denying the very person that needs to feel happy, ourselves. You know? And we are multifaceted beings. We're not just one thing, we're many things. And oftentimes we are expected to be this one thing. People know us as this one thing. So they want to keep us as this one thing, and oftentimes they want to keep us as this one thing because it's something that benefits them. It's something that works for them. They really don't understand the full expanse of our lives. You know, we have many different lives within one life. You know, but oftentimes they want us to have one life. We're not allowed to stretch our wings. We're not allowed to soar. We are only kept within a cage and admired for the beauty that we give other people, for the service that we perform for other people. We are loved based on what we do for others and not exactly for who we are. You know, and I always ask people to ask themselves, especially my clients, who are you outside of the roles that you occupy? And I pose that to you all. Who are you outside of the roles that you occupy? Oftentimes we are caregiver, we are brother, son, mother, daughter. But who are we? What is that secret part within us that oftentimes gets neglected in the service of other people? You know, oftentimes, like I mentioned before, we're always seen in terms of how well we take care of other people. But it's time that we cut up that box and stop living within that limitation. It's time that we tear up that box and break down that box because we are so much more. We are so much more, and there's so much of our spirit that goes unwatered and unchecked and even uncared for because we're always trying to be what someone else expects from us. We're trying to be the good son, we're trying to be caretaker, we're trying to be the good employee, we're trying to be everything else but what we are. What feeds us, what brings us back to life, what nourishes our spirit, what really revives us and makes us come alive. I realize that, you know, at the end of your life, you're really not going to think about how you should have spent more hours at work or how you should have taken care of this person or that person. You're going to think about how you could have done more, maybe in the service to God. But you're going to also think about how you could have enriched your own life, how you could have saw so many beautiful things and traveled more and done some more things for yourself. You know, it's beautiful to do nice things for other people, but it's necessary. It's necessary for you to really check in with your own spirit and to feed and water your spirit and to really do the things that matter to you and do the things that replenish your energy, because so many people out here, they want to deplete you. There's so many people making constant withdrawals from you day in and day out. They have incessant requests on your time, your energy, your resources. But how many of those people actually pour into you? How many of them actually are willing to help break down the box, cut up the box, and say, I see that you are more than just someone that benefits me. I see that you are this, 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 this. I want to help nurture those talents. I want to help grow out those abilities. How many people in your life actually water your talents, your abilities, your desires? For me, I got to be honest, it's very few people. There are a lot of people out there who are coming with their hand out. What can you do for me? That's what this world wants to know. How can you be in service to me? But the thing about it is this: you have to really, really protect your energy. You have to also stop giving people the keys to your kingdom. Stop giving them the keys to your life, and you begin to own the keys, and you begin to unlock all the potentials that exists in your spirit. You have an infinite amount of potential. You have an infinite amount of ability. And the thing about it is you have an abundance already waiting inside of you. But so many times we give other people the key and they don't even know which key opens which door, and they don't care to know. They don't even try. They don't even try. You yourself may not know about all the different reservoirs that exist in you. You have so many different compartments, so many different lives within your one life. And the thing about it is sometimes you don't even know which key unlocks which door. But the difference between you and them is that you have the ability to keep trying each key, seeing which key unlocks each door within your whole psyche and within your whole soul and spirit, so that way you can unlock your happiness. And a lot of us have lost touch with the motivation to open the space within us. We have lost touch with that. We have lost touch. We are afraid. We have been conditioned to be detached from our very spirit. We have been conditioned to be out of touch with who we are, always in the service of everybody else. And as I mentioned before, there's nothing wrong with offering assistance and being a present person within somebody's life, but you have to make sure that you balance that with self-care. You have to make sure that you prioritize that, because the truth is you can't be there for somebody if you are not there for yourself. If you continue to self-abandon and self-neglect, what's going to end up happening is that not only are you going to be resentful, but you're also going to die. This means your very life. Consistent lack of self-care will lead to your untimely death. Please take this seriously, because the thing about it is your life is very serious. At the end of the day, you are all you got. You got to take care of your most prized possession. You got to. And the thing about it is it's about deconstructing that box. Letting other people know that, yes, you know me as this, but did you know that I do this, 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 and that? Did you know that? Of course they didn't know that, because you didn't show that. People only know what you show. So begin to express the truth about your life, your abilities. Don't hide, don't mask, don't dim your shine. You deserve to shine bright. You deserve to have your wings stretch wide and free. Show other people how beautiful it looks to be free. We can all model freedom. Many of us die slaves. But we can begin to model freedom by how well we live our lives, by how well we take care of ourselves, by how well we articulate our needs and speak our life into fruition. That's so important. That's so important. We are so important. And when you begin to realize that your life is so important, and for years you've been neglecting that truth, always trying to fit in, always trying to belong in the box. We're not meant to belong in the box. We're not. We don't belong in a box. When we think about death, what is death? Death is trying to fit into a box, a coffin. A grave is in the shape of a box. A coffin, a pine box. There's so many things that are boxes. They want us to check a certain box, so that way they have us figured out. Yes, we are this. Yes, we are this. But we are more than just that we're so much more. We spend our lives checking boxes until it's time to die in a box. We spend our lives checking boxes until it's time to end up in a box. And it's just ironic, isn't it? How we spend our lives checking boxes and then the last thing we ever do is end up in a box. It's ironic. It's ironic. But my thing is this: I don't fit into people's boxes. They're going to always think of me as an outlier. They're going to always think of me in terms of their own biased perceptions. I realize that in many spaces that I occupy even now, I don't fit into other people's preconceived notions of me. And because I don't fit into their preconceived notions, they don't know where to put me. Therefore, I become unsafe. I become untrustworthy in their eyes because they have these preconceived notions about who I am. And I don't fit into anything of what they believe. I should. That makes them uncomfortable. That increases their own anxiety. And therefore, they project that by labeling me untrustworthy. But they can believe whatever they want to believe. I just feel like if you continue to live in your truth and honor your truth, eventually the world will catch on. The world has always been late when you think about the greats. You think about the greats and how people have discovered certain writers and artists later on after they're long gone. They lived in their truth and they were persecuted for it. But at the end of the day, they became a beacon of light and hope for other people, for future generations. And maybe that's all we're intended to do. As people that break down the box, as people that cut up the box, all we are intended to do sometime is to be a light so that way future generations can find us and they can see us and they can know that someone did feel the same way that I did, and do. Someone did feel how I do right now. And so they survived. They continued on. They became a beacon of hope and light. They became a role model for future generations. Sometime you will not see your gifts yield fruit in your current generation. Sometime all we ever do in life is plant seeds. That's all we ever do. So that way the next generation can benefit from our efforts. And they can begin to, hopefully, build upon the seed that we planted. But the thing about it is this: we have to begin to break down the box and cut up these boxes that people expect us to fit into. We have so much more than what these boxes allow. And so I encourage everybody to begin to explore the many ways that they defy the expectations of other people. Begin to explore the many ways that we don't fit into the expectation of society, because that right there is what makes us special. And sometimes we don't recognize our special because we're so busy trying to fit in, belong, be cared for, be safe by groupthink and what everybody else thinks. But that's not safety. That's confinement. That's imprisonment. That's a limited life. And sometimes to get the life of your dreams, you have to definitely live outside that box. So I hope this video was very helpful. Definitely share your experiences, your comments, and thank you so much for listening. Peace, y'all.